Hello YouTube, this is Scoopface here. Sorry that it's been a while since we've talked. Um, this is, we've also decided to drop the nicknames. I'm Connor and I'm going to be doing my Zefra deck profile right here. So, let's get started. First, you use 3 Secret of the Yang Zing. This is the best monster in the deck as he searches for your spells and traps. 3 Treasure of the Yang Zing. He makes any other Zefra monster of yours a tuner, which is a pretty good effect. 2 Zefra Exciton. What he does, you can pop one of your scales to pop a set card on the field. 2 Zefra Thubin. He's basically the same idea, but he pops a face-up card. 2 Swordmaster of the Necroz. You can tribute him to using this for the ritual summoning of a Necroz card from your hand or field. 2 Flame Beast of the Necroz. Whenever a Zefra monster would be, and he's in your hand or in your graveyard, you can special summon him in their place. 1 Shadal Zefra Core. I believe he's the one that lets you, he lets you special summon one in your Pendulum Zone. I almost never use that effect. Shadal Zefra Naga. He lets you return 1 card in the Pendulum Zone to your hand. Unless you want to switch your Pendulum scales, then you wouldn't really be using that much. 1 Zefra Pelika. She lets you special summon a Zefra out of your graveyard. Or put it back in your hand, one or the other, I forget. 1 Zefra Wendy. She lets you put 1 extra deck monster, one of your Zefra extra deck monsters, back into your hand. And then that's it for the Zefra monsters. Then you run 1 Shadal Falco, 1 Shadal Hedgehog, 1 Shadal Beast, and 1 Shadal Dragon. When he's flipped, you can get 1 Shadal out of your graveyard, and if he's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, he specials himself face down in defense mode. This card, when it flips, you get a Shadal spell or trap out of your deck, and when it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can get 1 Shadal out of your deck and add it to your hand. Him, when he's flipped, you draw 2 cards and then discard 1. When he's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you draw 1 card. When he flips, Shadal Dragon, when he flips, you can send 1 monster on your opponent's side of the field back to their hand, and when he's sent by a card effect, you can destroy 1 back row, or 1 set card, one or the other. I believe it's 1 back row card. Then that's it for the Shadal monsters. Then for your Necroz, you run 1 Bryonic and 1 Unicorn. Most people use Trish, but I think he clutters the deck because he's really hard to summon. Then onto the spells. You use 3 Oracle of the Zefra, which is the best card in your deck, in all honesty. When you activate it, you can get one Zefra monster out of your deck and into your hand. Then it has a different effect for each type of extra deck summoning and 1 for ritual summoning. For ritual summoning, you can shuffle one monster on the field back into the deck. For fusion summoning, you can summon 1 monster from your hand. For a synchro, you choose 1 monster in your deck and put it at the top. And for Xyz, you draw 1 card, then discard 1 card. Then I run 3 Upstart Goblin. Most people that use this deck use Echo Oscillation, but I don't like that card personally because I don't like destroying one of my Pendulum Scales. The only time I'll do it is with one of my Satellar Knight Guy's effects to pop a card. And then you run 2 Shadal Fusion. I'm sure you all know what that does. 1 Terraforming and 1 Raigeki. And then that's it for the spells. Now for the traps, you run 2 Zefra Divine Strike. What that does is when a spell trap or monster effect is activated, you banish 1 Zefra monster in your extra deck, and then you negate and destroy that card. 2 Mirror Force, 1 Bottomless, and 1 Solemn Warning, and then that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, I use 1 El Shadal Construct, 1 El Shadal Wenda, 1 El Shadal Shekinaga, and then that's it for your Shadal Fusions. For your Synchros, 1 Yazi Evil the Yang Zing, Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, Stardust Spark Dragon, Goyo Guardian, Metaphys Horus. Metaphys Horus is really good in this deck because you get 2 of his effects. Because he's actually one of the few guys that gain an effect when a Pendulum monster is used for him. If you use a Pendulum monster for his summoning, your opponent picks a monster to give to you. And then since all the Pendulums are also effect monsters, you can then negate another monster's effect. 1 Gigantic Castle. And then that's it for the Synchros. Moving on to the Xyz monsters, I use 1 Ragna Zero, 1 Gagaga Cowboy, 1 Castel the Sky Blaster Musketeer, 1 Silent Honor 1 Heartland Draco, who's pretty OP in this deck because he can't be targeted by guard effects. I mean, he can't be targeted for attacks while you control face-up spell, and most of the time you control 3. And then 1 Keeper of Armageddon. I'm going to probably take him out for another 5-star monster who basically has the same effect as him, but then burns your opponent for either all of the monsters you destroyed's attack or half of it, one or the other. I forget which it is. And then that's the end of the deck profile. Goodbye.